Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. I'm OP, and in today's episode we'll be going over some of the best highlights from the matchup between Weibo Gaming and BLG during the semifinals of Worlds 2023. Without further ado, let's dive straight into the action.
Well, yeah, looks like Shun's just going to step out in the vision there real quick, so Waybo should know what's going on.
I really want to see if Vin can actually hold that wave off the turret, though, because he TP'd back and TheShy had no buy.
Immediate flash engage coming out from On as Crisp is forced to flash away. He's nearly killed, but he keeps himself alive just a little bit longer. It's first blood. Back over to the rail as BLG are on the board.
Nicely done. Beautiful.
How far ahead Waybo is, plus he's going to be able to go in onto this top side, take Raptors, zone bin off of this wave as well as it's about to crash from TheShy, and keep full control over this top side continuously. This is becoming a massive issue now for BLG, and honestly I wouldn't even be surprised if Waybo in his back pocket for that, but Weibo hovering, Shun is available.
Yeah, Shun recalling nearby, but Weibo's going to dash forward. As you can see, Shun now coming in to reinforce Bin, but he's burning up the equalizer over the top, and TheShy picks up the kill.
Nicely done by Waybo. Bin waited way too long. He wanted to try to bait this play. You want to rush towards it, but there's an AD carry, jungler style here.
Weibo going to be engaged on here as Shun goes in. The Vi ulti leads the charge, but now in the back line, they're still keeping him alive. Weibo getting away. He makes his way to the blast cone, and Weibo survives. The counterattack. Where's it at from Waybo? They're not going to get anything back for it, but the fact that there's no kills for BLG was huge. Now Xiaohu's coming in looking to lock down Yagao. He tries to get away. Skin of the weekend going to work. TheShy flashes over, and he burns them all up. A double kill back to the top laner from Waybo. These guys came to fight.
Scatter the weak isn't gonna hurt. Watch TheShy right here is able to flash in over top of the scatter. Beautifully timed there. Nicely done by TheShy. Picks up the double kill. And you can see he's feeling good about that one.
Oh, it's going again! It's going again!
We're not done. Bin falls in the 1v1. TheShy, despite a disastrous level 1. Isaac, you said it at the start of this game. It's as bad. Working on the second Rift Herald of the game here. As soon as it spawns, Weibo's going to be taken down as TheShy just picks up another one. This man is on a mission today.
Yeah, on to off real quick. TheShy finds him, and it's just nice positioning there, right? You can see, hey, look, we are trading that Rift Herald on top side. Let's get the vision. It's your standard play for the support, but not having the jungle, and then not having a top laner.
Pop Blossom lands. They tie him up in the tangle barbs, and Weibo's ready to bring him down. Alley-oop. The kill goes over to Light, and now the push comes through.
3,000 gold ahead. He's got equalizer. I don't know if you even want it.
Yeah, this is tough, man. I don't even think you win these 2v1s. He's going to go ahead, drop the equalizer to zone Yagao away, turns on the flame spitter as Shun goes in for the ulti. They try to wombo combo him down, and the shutdown goes over to Yagao. But what about the counterpunch? The TP comes in from Xiaohu, but they disengage in time. Shun and Yagao picking up a critical shutdown there onto TheShy, but man, he still puts so much damage this time as the equalizer lands on Yagao. Weibo's not going to close the gap in time to make anything else happen, but they force their opponents back. It's Weibo using the Herald here in the bottom lane to force down that tier 1 turret. On gets thrown up in the air, the Pop Blossom's ready to make sure it gets done, and Xiaohu picks up his first kill of the game. 7-2 here, 18.5 minutes in.
You play with fire, you're gonna get burned, and On learns it once again as they get that charge off, and Weibo will back it out.
They choose the Chinese cast before we came in, and he was talking about Weibo, and they said, look, we have things that we haven't had to show yet. We got through without having to face an Eastern team. We have the opportunity to play our style and bring out some of these new picks.
Are going to have to try to stand and stop this. Ulti flies out from Aphelios, but the Moonlight Vigil will not connect on anybody, so Weibo's just going to walk this one back away. They're not so far ahead, they can just hard force Baron, so they don't want to throw the game. Shun now in danger, knocked up into the air, equalizer over the top. Shun is down, and Weibo's the one to put him there. Now can they find any more? No, but with the enemy jungler out, with both enemy
has in this bottom side to put that pressure, to also allow them to set up that vision as they work their way through here.
And you can see that Xiaohu was pushing out top wave, but now he's going to move over towards mid because they're nervous about a pick, but the equalizers are insane.
Elk having to pop the ulti here with the very start, now flashing away to survive as Light goes in aggressively to take out the enemy AD carry. On's going to get burned up next as Xiaohu pops the Pop Blossom defensively, and Bin's health bar's going to drop next. TheShy leads the charge, and Shun heads right back into the base. Only he and
room to breathe at any turn. They're looking for more.
Wait with the flash engage, the knockup on Yagao, and TheShy gets him with the flame spitter to finish the job. Shun's back underneath those Nexus turrets. They still have the entire rest of the team dead, only On just now respawning as the bottom lane inhibitor turret is broken. The inhibitor now under pressure as the same story gets told mid. Waybo still have their push going strong. Xiaohu has rotated up into the top lane to get the last remaining lane, moving towards that completely destructive state.
Bot side, it feels like for Waybo, you're in a great spot, and not going to find Bin yet.
Yeah, Bin's going to be in some trouble here. TheShy has backup from Crisp. The Maul's going to keep Ben alive for an extra second, but as soon as that flame spitter comes back up, Xiaohu makes his rotation over. TheShy popping the stasis just to make sure. It got a little bit dicey there for a second, but they still get the job done.
That is fair. He is 0-5 and the other side is 7-1, so that's why it was a little bit close, but they do get the job done. And now you're going to get pushed on top side to make sure you can actually get in underneath this tower. And I mean, how do you try and defend this as BLG? You've got nothing left in the tank.
You really can't. There's not much you can do here. I mean, the only reason it was really close is because it was all AP, but they're going to look for a pick.
Crisp is the target, and they already got him. It cost a lot of ultis to do it. So Waybo now might look for something, despite the fact that they've immediately lost a man. They go for the knockup, but it won't hit.
People go, oh, they should be the consistent winners, but they forget that the fight between these two in summer was incredibly close, going 2-1 in favor of BLG. Waybo have taken down teams like JDG. They are monsters, and they want to finish this.
TP is coming in as Shun tries to engage on Xiaohu. It immediately goes golden to get himself away. Flashing right back out of the scan of the week as now Weiwei is coming in from the side. A lot of damage back onto Shun, and he's going to die to Xiaohu. Light now free firing back onto On, who engages without support from the rest of the team. Weiwei is going to do the same, but Weiwei is fed, and BLG's dead. Ben can't get out. Light's gonna put him in the ground. Weiwei jumps in over the wall. Elk is the last man ulti. It's gonna be a hard job to get away from this when he tries to do it, but Weiwei's got a lot of damage resistance. Waybo, get it done. Game number 1. It's a stomp here in the semifinals, and they're gonna start this series off strong.
Waybo want to tell a different story here today.
To defend themselves if you catch them while they're pushing, with junglers both being able to have incredibly effective ganks very early on with the Vi and the Maokai, this should be a PvP magnet.
And I think this is where we might get the Weiwei special, the L3 camp immediately into bottom.
Has to fizzle.
Yeah, Chris stepped up so early and took so much damage from the BLG bot lane. TheShy should live, but we'll see.
TheShy just got solo killed for first blood. Ben will die to the turret afterwards, but the Jax is side to help him out with this. Let's see, Weiwei and TheShy, how are they going to get it done? TheShy's going to take the aggro here at the start with a World Ender. Counter strikes back up. Ben survives for the time being, but now Xiaohu's coming through. Ben falls, and TheShy gets the money. The turret's not going to find any sort of a target afterwards, but Yagao's coming up from the river. World
Completely, but I mean, if you've now got to try and keep Ben safe on the top side of the map, it's only opening up for Weiwei to try and play aggressive bot lane and start to get those dragons for himself.
And as we were talking about earlier, comparing the Shy's Aatrox to other ones, never mind, we got a dive coming out here in the mid lane. They don't even need to dive him, they throw him back away from the turret, and BLG get kill number 2. Yes, Xiaohu can't join up with the TP. They do find the chains of corruption here in the bottom lane, but now TheShy's ready to go and jump in on the fight. Weiwei getting back away, but now Ben's trying to bring him down. Shun's gonna be super low here too. Ben grabs the kill on Weiwei as they still can't kill Shun yet. TheShy finally picks it up, and now Xiaohu's ready to help his top laner trying to turn it around. But Yagao's made his way into the fight. He won't find Abscond Duck. TheShy sidesteps, and Ben's ready for the counter strike yet again. Arrow from across the map, but it goes between the uprights. TheShy and Xiaohu still seeing if there might be an
We're going to be looking at Ocean Dragon as BLG.
BLG throwing out the engage, and they immediately find the pick onto Crisp following the take of the
Your early picking, and that's opening up for things like the Varus Ashe.
Yeah.
And it's been so much about this bot lane dominance. Weiwei up towards this top side. Shun's here as well, though.
Yeah, Shun just jumps over the wall. We're going to get 2 different 1v1s. So the Maokai ulti comes back up into the top lane, and now Ben's going to be the focus here at the very start. Vi ulti trying to buy enough time for the Jax, but it won't work. Arrow comes in from down far when the camera pans into the bottom lane. Yeah. A lot of these chains are hitting. A lot of these arrows are hitting. We got 20 seconds left until the turret plates fall. Weiwei fires off the ulti from all the way back in his own jungle. Elk's going to tank the first one of those. Ben steps up for the counter strike. Immediate stun and immediate disengage. They don't want to allow TheShy to put that lead back into the bottom bottom lane. Waybo's the target, and BLG hit the mark. They're gonna follow it up with a stolen Maokai ulti as Shun's ready to engage with a Vault Breaker. Everfrost locks him down. BLG's going to town. The turret might get one back, but not quite yet. They almost get Shun away, but they'll trade it for Xiaohu nonetheless. First turret's gonna follow, and BLG, come on.
Sten looks for a play, but he found nothing.
Meanwhile, back on live, Crisp is dead. Elk on a killing spree.
And TheShy peeks his head and says, yeah, they're there. I want nothing to deal with this right now. We cannot contest Waybo, especially if we're trying to move through these like entrances in towards River, where there's an Asho or a Varasol, the Yakko around the corner.
Yeah, TheShy's coming in. This is the power point for Waybo. This is the guy they want to try to play around. Beautiful stun on a Xiaohu as he tries to take the blast cone over the wall. Azir ultis fly back and forth as Xiaohu goes into the stasis, but he will not survive. Yagao takes the kill as TheShy spreads his wings, but the World Ender runs out. The volley, perma slowing Waybo's members as they try to disengage this on continuing putting the arrows into them. BLG
Of the team, if they want to try to find any sort of way to come back.
Well, TheShy goes in for Shun here, but that could be a problem because Yagao is also nearby. He steals away the World Ender, and now he's ready to show TheShy how it's done. Shun gets the kill. The raid
To do anything there, so BLG are just taking it all, and really at this point all Waybo can do is just try to get as powerful as possible for that inevitable fourth dragon fight and hope they can turn around something now.
Well, they're gonna try to turn it on Bin. Xiaohu has his 2-item power spike. The Aatrox of TheShy doing the same. Bin's not long for this world. The Jax, again, it's been a rough game, a rough couple of games so far for Bin. 2-4-1 here with the Jax now. Can Waybo? Yagao would be ready and set up to stop that engage. But yeah, that's the big marker. That Dragon Soul that's going to be coming up soon as Shun comes into the mid lane and things go from bad to worse for Light. That's his first death.
Him actually TP up, and then maybe you just pull off, or then maybe you look for the turn. But it's not the fast Baron. It is lethality AD carry here. This is not going to go down quickly, so Waybo don't need to panic.
All right, we're bringing in the TP.
They're getting low in the
Bin's
pit.
ready
This
to
is
join up
getting
here. On has taken a lot of damage from the Baron. Elk has taken a lot of damage from the Baron. TheShy's ready to fight these guys back as Yagao is down to 25% HP. Waybo leads the charge with the arrow back over the wall, coming in to support. Waybo will stop him here. BLG getting a little audacious with this. The big thing before these fights, Sylas versus Maokai. Sylas always wants to get that high value ulti. There's so many choke points that you can use at him when you're fighting for these neutral objectives. It's a little bit of a poke war back and forth. The arrow misses from On's Ashe, and that means it's an opportunity for Waybo to look for something, but they're not going to get it here just yet. Shun disengaging as the Chains of Corruption fly out. Now ready to re-engage back with TheShy. He'll get stunned up with the counter-strike. TheShy is down, and BLG got the kill.
Outside the World Ender, so it means now BLG in position, Elk taking free shots. Chris is low alongside Weiwei.
The Varus and Ashe, the two archers, just riddling these guys with arrows. Elk again with a piercing arrow over the wall. Bin coming in from behind. Waybo wants to jump in, but the Maokai's just gonna get chopped. Bin's ready to bring it in as they have to disengage once more on Waybo's side. Summoner spells are down for Light. Crisp is nearly dead too. Xiaohu's got no HP. Infernal Soul to BLG. Flash over the wall from Elk. A rampage for the Varus.
Elk goes hunting. The shoe is up, but there's not really any good wards for them, so there's not really any opportunity for them to do it, and Yagao now going to throw out that ulti, just zone them off the tower.
Exactly, they've already got the cannon minions with the Baron buff. They're trying to get the opportunity to go in, but now a nice shuffle from Xiaohu. They're finally going to get the kill. Elk takes one with him as he dies. TheShy fighting Bin off to the side. The shutdown credit went back over to the Caitlyn, but Xiaohu dies right after. Yagao goes in a rampage. Blast Cone gets shut away for safety. It's a 2-for-1 trade. BLG still trying to push here too. On is hurt.
The siege, it might be broken though, unless Bin can make it happen.
TheShy here in the front line, locked down. Sterix keeps him alive for an extra second. He's still trying to walk away, but Bin gets him. Counter-strike, flash forward into the double kill. Light tries to run away, but Bin is not done yet. Counter-strike still ready to go. He jumps back in for the triple kill. BLG bounce back in game number 2. Crisp is alive, but it's a Lux against the whole team. Shun forces him to flash back into the fountain now as BLG continue their push. They've only got a couple of minions, but the next wave is reinforcing. They don't quite have the energy to end it yet. They know Xiaohu is about to spawn, so Waybo gonna get one more chance.
Every single game, the top laner that falls behind early suddenly bounces back and has this miraculous recovery. But hang on.
Xiaohu going in, seeing if he might be able to pick off these stragglers. Yagao wanted to punish him for it, but no! The shutdown for Xiaohu takes out the enemy mid laner.
It's a good pick there from Waybo, but they're gonna need a lot more of that.
Waybo's finding it to keep these minions off the tower.
And you also have to know there's now no flash on Xiaohu, and the flash is gonna be coming back up for Elk, so that job becomes that much more difficult. BLG just push in, knock down the tower, and meanwhile, Bin pushing up that top lane. And they have Yagao shoving in the bot lane as well. They are looking to deal lethal damage.
No Baron required. TheShy has to fall back behind the only remaining Nexus turret now. It's barely standing, and BLG are keeping the push alive. The Maokai ulti finally summoned up for Wei as they'll be able to force the retreat from BLG, if only for a moment. Elk and Shun stepping out of the way of the laser as Elk tries to escape TheShy, but the Q3 Gore Drinker gets some kill credit going over to Wei. That's a big shutdown as Bin falls too. It's 2 dead on the side of BLG, and Waybo might have found their chance. Vaultbreaker to disengage on trying to escape from the Aatrox, but the Infernal Chains bring the pain. A shutdown over to Xiaohu.
When you need him most, it's TheShy for Waybo showing up. But Bin is behind him.
Bin is just pushing the wave right now.
He does, this is bad.
He might just try to disengage it. What is going on? This is a mess. Bin will spend as much of their time as he can, counter-strike to buy some time, while the rest of the team goes after the Elder. Bin with his Onion's Hourglass to escape the ace in the hole. Wei's trying to go in and steal away the Elder Drake. They're going to kill him instead. Shun goes into Rampage, killing him. It's traded back away for Bin, but the Elder goes over to the remaining 4 players of BLG. It is a 4v. Waybo will head back into the base, and BLG continue the push.
But it's the Elder Dragon, and you've got the opportunity now for BLG because that Nexus turret is so low. They can actually look to push forward on this. That play from Bin might have dragged Waybo away from the win con.
Laser fired off. They're trying to buy enough time to survive here. That Elder Drake is so ferocious. Light takes a little bit of damage. The arrow spam's gonna come through. Maokai ulti lands. TheShy's your first target. Sterex ain't gonna save him. The Elder Dragon finds its first victim. Shurima Shuffle won't do it anyway. BLG will find the win, find the Nexus, and find their first game of the series.
BLG battle back strong in game number 2 off of...
Can you tell you how many times Yagao I've seen play Akali? He has 4 total games in Akali over his entire career.
Wait,
so
is it Grace top?
That appears like it might be the case, my friends.
I think it's still swap. I think they still have 3 more seconds.
I'm not going to get ahead of my opponents from being able to engage in the fight the way they want to. Elk is up here now as well. BLG's full 5, Waybo's full 5. Keeper's Verdict looking to make the ejection, but Elk with a save on. Wei jumps into the middle. He's stolen away the Rift Herald. Yagao wants to find him and get something back as Bin goes into the back line, but it's first blood over to Yagao. BLG might lose their mid laner now in response. He flashes away from the rain of arrows to stay alive. It's first blood for BLG.
Moment, so they're trying to see if they can cover for it. Yagao also moving in here. They're worried Wei will try and use this Rift Herald on the bottom side to actually be in a position to take plates for the Barracks.
We have to look up at the top lane CS. Stormracer already done now.
Terror, but with how healthy he is, I don't think he can do particularly much.
And Yagao is going to get pulled to top side. You can see him on the map trying to bail out Bin, but Bin's in trouble.
Bin just walks up, immediately punished for that, forced to flash away because the steadfast presence would have blocked the Umbral dash. Yagao's rotated up, but it's way too late. The tier 2 turret's already down. Nice moves from Waybo.
Yeah, I mean, I would say Bin was too early, more so than Yagao was too late, because Yagao is making the roam. Bin just kind of walks up very confidently with no ulti, loses his flash, and wastes the timing on the roam, because then Yagao has spent that time.
Unleashed power cannot kill off the Caitlyn. Waybo know that they would be 4v5 in this. TheShy is their strongest dude, and he's on the other side of the rift, so this should be Drake traded away for Herald. Waybo again continuing along this line of flood your team with as much gold as you can get, using the Rift Herald immediately here in the mid lane. Wanted to crack the tier 1 turret, but BLG is stepping up. The tier 1's gonna fall. Scatter the Weak misses. Now Yagao's ready to go in. He drops the smoke. They try to engage, but Wei's doing a great job stopping him. He immediately kills off Shun as Waybo try to regroup, and it's BLG not getting anything. Piercing arrow flies out to find Elk at the very back into the fight, but he's still at about half HP. They tried to punish him, tried to stop him. Elk nearly dies. But there's a lot of Waybo players around. BLG would have to send the whole kitchen sink after him to make this work. Yagao gonna get spotted, goes into the smoke. Scatter the Weak knocks him out of it, but he can escape in time. The mobility of the Akali, the extra Shuriken flip there on the very end, as Waybo continues the pressure here onto the tier 1 turret in bottom lane. They want to get more money at these objectives. It's barely hanging on, but they need another wave to finish it off.
They'll be able to keep this pressure up though. Bin coming in over the wall will be spotted, but honestly for the moment with Waybo positioned like this, Waybo in the front, it's not impossible for BLG to get in, especially when Yago has no flash, has to use the stun.
The engage coming out from the buy as Sean just immediately gets shut down, but they will trade him away for Waybo. Both junglers out of the picture, but Waybo still gets that tier 1 turret, the objective that they came for, going even on kills.
And that's the thing, if you're going...
Elk's coming around from the side. Caitlyn traps have been placed down, but Weiwei's always going to be the guy eating the cupcake. Ocean Drake started up. A little bit of poke coming out as On loses half HP. Yagao posing a threat here from the side. Wants to try to distract him long enough here for the Drake to be claimed by the rest of the team, but Shun's going to be killed. Weiwei's in the pit. Light kills off Shun. The Drake will be claimed by Waybo, and the fight's still going. Bin wants to fight back, but he ain't going to find anybody here just yet. Ocean Drake over to Waybo finally as Weiwei goes in for the tackle onto On, but he won't get him as he goes back over the wall, and now Yagao having to run from TheShy. It's a 12-gauge goodbye, and TheShy and Waybo take the fight.
It was entirely spread out, but the fact that Yagao could not get access to the backline the way he wanted meant that Weiwei could cover the front line. They pick off Shun in the pit, and now they might just get the Baron on top of it.
I think they're going to get the Baron for sure. Shun is still dead, just now respawning. They're going to run right out, but this is going to go down pretty quick. We'll see if BLG can get here in time.
BLG trying to close the distance to this objective, but
But Weiwei then steps up, and Weiwei's going again!
we're already back into live as the Kalista ulti is going to be used to save On. Elk kiting back, trying to get the distance here. TheShy's ulti doesn't have the damage there to kill off the BLG AD carry. But remember that Bin's still dead for another 10 seconds. Enchanted Crystal Arrow is found. Yagao, the follow-up CC, scatter the weak, and Yagao is the one who eats another face full of buckshot. TheShy absolutely dominating this game here in the grave.
And there's just nothing.
But with the amount of poke, with the amount of setup Weibo have when they're going for these sieges, it becomes so difficult to try and find that answer. We already saw how desperate they looked trying to take the tier 1 on boss, and now they need to try and defend the tier 2, but it's gone.
Here's the TP though. This is going to be the final fight, I think, potentially.
All right, Yagao needs to find a massive angle here as immediately it's Light getting engaged on with a Vi ulti, followed up from the damage with Yagao. Weiwei now trying to get away, but Bin leads the charge here in the A-Truck. Shun can't keep chasing any further. Chris trying to escape the Akali, but he can't do it quite yet. Bin has no damage, has no chance, has no right to be there in that bottom lane when Weibo's this far ahead.
The Graves now so far ahead. You respect the attempt here because BLG cannot play the game slow. They were hoping, they were really betting everything on this Ocean Dragon. It didn't work out, so they go in for the engage. Light gets ulted onto, and the R1 there from Yagao connects. He doesn't even commit the E to actually get this kill onto Light, which was pretty nicely done. Then is able to get it on Chris. But the problem is, on the other side, the team is getting decimated. TheShy kills off Elk, and he is completely uncontested. So yes, even though Yagao is running rampant in the back line, the soul laners from Waybo are just so much
like this, but that's not going to be a viable plan. Again, they have to try to keep these guys safe, but it's so difficult when the power of Waybo is so far past what they've got. BLG forced back into their own jungle, control over the bot side river for Waybo, control over the Drake for Waybo. Yagao and On trying to come in as Shun's going to be stopped. The steadfast presence, they knock him right back in the pit. Bin's been killed by Chris off to the left. TheShy goes in. On gets safe for a moment, but now Elk could pay the price. TheShy continuing the chase with Weiwei right behind him as Yagao went into the back looking for light, but the Akali has no damage. He can't get the assassination. It's the Drake. It's 2 kills. A TP up into the base. They do not want to stop yet. The 2-man TP. On should drop here next. Xiaohu hits him with the orb. Weibo, 3 draft, 3 different marksmen, 1 frontliner, and a 13-4. Absolute obliteration of BLG. Weibo move on to match point.
And 1 game away from...
You can all of a sudden take those all-ins. You can win 100-0 plays as the Jackson in this matchup if the Quinn does not have his cleanse. So it's going to be really, really interesting. And maybe he's not even going to go. Maybe he'll just play that TP style or Ignite or something else. But, you know, generally when they play it against Renekton, and generally when I've seen it played against Jack, screwed top wave to try to crash that in because he didn't have any info on where Weiwei was. So it's definitely a tough spot now for Bin. spends that TP, is walking back, and we'll see if he can fix it as they're taking Dragon.
They're taking Dragon, but Weiwei's at half HP. Yagal's rotating over. Shun ready to come in over the wall. Weiwei should drop here. The flash has already been used. He wants to try to re-engage, but they have the damage to bring him down. First blood money goes over to Elk, and now Crisp has to try to flash to get away over the wall. Shun's in hot pursuit, and he needs a little bit more for the CC. The Heimerdinger is stunned up and gunned down. Elk gets the first 2 kills of the game.
That is massive. Getting those kills for Elk is such...
And now topside.
Oh, Bin's going in. TheShy tries to get away from it. He'll survive the all-in attempt. He knows he can't go much further than just those couple of auto attacks here for the follow-up. As On wants to go on a magical journey. He takes a lot of damage, but he gets away in time. Light down to 400 HP too, as Elk has the red-white guns, and Crisp has no flash. Elk just follows him through the tunnel and buries him there.
It's Skeet shooting in the top
as well, because TheShy without flash isn't going to be able to enter this fight, because you can immediately turn a Shun, you can set up with Yagao. Like, this is where it becomes really difficult that you don't have that early setup for the Quinn. So now Bin going to be in a position where they can give some of those resources back, especially with Elk having 3 kills on that bot side. He doesn't need as much.
We've been seeing fights for these Rift Heralds here, but Yagao and On have also rotated up. It would be a 4v2 dive. You can see Crisp also making his way up. There were pings coming out from Waybo on the ward in the middle of top lane that Yagao would have been able to teleport to and find a further counterattack. So BLG call it off.
Crisp though, still stepping up, doesn't have flash, they know that.
Shun, nice aim on the Sejuani ult. He's gonna lock down Crisp, and Yagao gets the kill. Money for the carries. BLG finding it 4 times in the first 10 minutes.
Nicely done. And that plate that just went down mid, I don't think anyone was actually in range to get it, but Elk potentially in trouble.
Yeah, Elk had to pop the cleanse already, trying to get away from Light. Now flashing to try to escape Xiaohu. The follow-up, the unleashed power. Xiaohu gets a big shutdown, but it'll cost his life to get it done. Yagao should be the one picking up the money here, and BLG makes it an even trade.
Good punch there from Waybo, but it's a great counter punch, and now Bin, you gotta play this mind game. Can he actually use that counter strike properly?
Well, survives for now, but TheShy and Weiwei are not done yet. Still stepping up, still chasing him away. The binding only stuns up Weiwei as Crisp walks away from it.
Yeah, good guy Weiwei trying to get in front of it there a little bit, but there's the ult.
Magical Journey's already been summoned, but the chain CC is extreme. On goes on the journey anyway. He gets away all the way back behind the turret, and Weibo's best efforts.
Lane isn't going the way it should for Light and Crisp. The early Dragon fight really caught TheShy out, and this is going to catch him as well.
Yep, Yagal's coming up to try to get the punish here on the Quinn. As Bin jumps in for a little bit more. Shockwave, nice moves from TheShy, but they ain't nice enough. Yagal goes on a killing spree.
And then you got Rift Herald that's just spawned as well. So
could be tough, but he is going to be able to just mount up on the birdie, fly on down to bot lane. But Bin now can move over towards mid if they want. They can threaten in towards this mid tier 1 as well if Waybo were to start up the Herald. But On is here to help.
Oh, they find the Tempered Fate. On getting in position. Immediate Sejuani ulti over the wall. TheShy just gets punished. Huge moves coming out for BLG. It's going to set Bin up to be able to take out this tier 2 turret. That's the enemy top laner down. That's so much of that mobility move.
It's giving the Nivea vibes for the top laner at the moment, but in mid.
Oh, nice shutdown coming out for Waybo. It's Xiaohu getting the kill as Elk is ignited and forced to fall back all the way underneath the tier 1 turret. TP coming in now to try to help him out, help make this defense. Tier 1 turret not dead just yet. Bin has arrived, takes a little damage as soon as he gets there.
More than he has throughout the rest of this series, and BLG immediately starting up this Rift Herald as well. They have TheShy for Waybo trying to push in on bot side, but he's a long way from hitting any of those towers.
I just don't really know how TheShy is going to play it out now. You know, generally when you fall behind as Quinn, your team fighting is pretty hard because you're relatively low range and there's a lot of CC over on the other side that could get you burst down. You can't win the 1v1 against Jax. So then your option, especially with these Shiv kind of builds, where you just kind of ult to a side.
Out of BLG.
And Yagao was pushing bot lane, and now they're going to TP on TheShy.
TheShy's the target. Magical Journey coming out for On as they immediately arrive with a TP from Yagao. No way out for the Quinn. The arrow comes in from a long way away, but it's not a
Big base dominating in the bot lane, keeping things clean and sparkly in the top lane.
And he's got teeth now as well, because he's got a couple of kills himself. But for BLG, just give him the opportunity to go for Dragon here and get something as well. So for I think it's also been a great performance from On as, okay, there we go, Xiaohu nearly gets the same treatment, but here comes the handsome support.
It's flash for flash, and Xiaohu's gone. On shows
up. He's getting to make his name in the semifinals to see if he can take down Waybo here.
Waybo feel like they gotta do something. The Baron's already down to 5,000 HP. Bin's coming in, goes for the stun. Weibo's found out immediately. Tempered Fate to lock down the enemy jungler. Sejuani ulti's not gonna hit a target. Weibo still being focused. Elk grabs the kill on him as Bin's going in, looking to chase TheShy all the way out of the fight. Still 2 dead on the side of Waybo, but Xiaohu's about to respawn, and he has TP once he does. Right back onto the Baron go BLG, as On could be in some trouble. He tries to get away from the Harrier procs, but he has to go on a magical journey to do it. BLG are losing HP, and now they have to continue to disengage. Light taking a lot of damage from Yagao. He pops the cleanse, but Yagao dunks him with the ball. Now On might finally die here in the back line, but not quite yet. TheShy will drop instead, and Elk's coming to join the party. BLG only lose their support, and they ace Waybo.
Yagao dashes in aggressive into the bot lane in the 1v2, makes it happen. And BLG onto the Baron here. Bin gonna be zoning out Weiwei. There's no way in.
Yep, it might be full HP versus 20% HP, but Jax versus Rel, that's gonna favor Jax every single time. Hit him with the helicopter and take the Baron as the prize. BLG are primed to win this game.
There was comps. This one not so poke heavy for BLG, but who knows if it's even going to last that long. They have the Baron, they're pushing in, and there's not really any recourse for Waybo.
TheShy had to use the Gale Force to get away from the Tempered Fate. Mid lane, tier 3 turret already gone. The one in bottom under a lot of pressure. Waybo trying to find any sort of a chance to punish these guys. On again, just so slippery on the Bard. Impossible for them to lock this guy down. 1 death so far the entire game as TheShy gets caught jumping in out of the base gate. Immediately followed up with a Sejuani ulti. The damage over the wall from Elk is enough. It's a 5v4 and BLG is kicking in the door against Waybo. The damage on Light is enough with the shockwave, and that should do it. 2 more down, 2 left to go. BLG wants silver scrapes, and they're gonna take it right here. Chris and Xiaohu can do nothing to defend. The Nexus turrets are reduced to dust, and we are going the distance. It's time for game 5.
There was no...
Has been really big all worldwide, but 369 as well was like Mr. Orn, right? And everyone has kind of moved away from those picks. So to see it come back towards that in a game 5, and we didn't even talk about it, is Caitlyn Lux. So they are going that poke style as the answer. It does give them a little bit of AP. So sure, they maybe get a little bit of a less preferential base, but Shun gets to steal the camp for free, and he could look for a Zir.
Well, Bin with a nice little knockback onto TheShy, but unfortunately
he
doesn't
just
have a lot
flashed
of
on his
mana left to work with. Now hold on, Xiaohu in some trouble here. Gets stunned up. Yagao following up with the damage, and now the chase gets paid its first blood over to Yagao. Meanwhile, back in the bottom lane, the 2v2 breaks out. On's in some trouble. So much damage pours in, and Light pierces his heart.
Nicely done. They got that kill on the bot side on. But I was watching on the minimap. I saw the Q flash come through from Shun. I have to think that Xiaohu flashed into the wall. Just based on what actually happened with those flashes and the way that we saw him run out, it's possibly just flash.
Power of the Maokai ulti if they want to set up one of these dives, if they want to go for one of these plays. Maokai also being a champion who has an aggro drop in his Twisted Advance to further facilitate those dives. And here they go. On throws out the binding, but it's not going to be enough just yet. Elk uses the cleanse, but he's not the target just yet. On having a flash, but he still dies. Elk's going to be hunted down, and Light gets a double kill. Waybo are running the bottom lane.
That is huge for Waybo, but TheShy needs to try and hold on to this top side.
Down towards bot. TheShy has TP, he can just come right back up. They are going to drop the Heralds because they're just in desperation mode. Caitlyn's down 1,000 gold. They know they need to start knocking down towers. They need to get out of that 2v2, but this took a lot for them to get. And the Kalista farmed so many plays down on bot side.
And that's the thing, because you've now got Light, who's in such a good position after getting those...
Game from Zeus, where he went super crazy in the late game. If you get in towards Shojin, you get in towards those super high CDR builds, you can actually hit the point where you're getting 2 shot blasts per acceleration gate, and that's where Jace, I think, kind of becomes actually a strong late game champion. But of course, you still then have to be getting that past all those frontliners.
Okay, nicely done from Bin. He waited for the Bellows breath so TheShy would not be able to immune the ulti, but now he's looking to keep this going. He goes unstoppable again. Flashback over the wall from TheShy. Q3 comes out from Bin. He doesn't have enough damage just quite yet, but the Cassante takes him down. It's a solo kill for Bin.
It's a dash, bash, but Bin is able to come out on top, and now, with that struggle, they're coming in for mid lane as well.
They go for the Maokai ulti. They find Shun here in the front as they follow it up with a hostile takeover. On's gonna be the first kill, and Waybo are looking for more. They chase after the Sejuani, who does not have his Arctic armor or the after. Bin TPs into the middle. TheShy's not going to find his engage here yet. Hostile takeover hits the Cassante, and meanwhile the Ornhorn flies over the top. Binding almost finds life, but not quite yet. TheShy's here, tanking up in the front, but he's going to die. Elk gets the kill, and the Shuffle tries to buy a little bit more time. Crisp is going to be shot through the head as On kites light away. A double kill back over to Elk, and now it's BLG crushing Waybo. Yagao with an accelerated shock blast, and he'll cut down the tree. Xiaohu at least takes Bin, and he might get a second. The Emperor of Shurima will die before the third as Elk takes light out of the picture, and BLG get the ace.
The gold right where you need it.
Right back into live, right back into a fight. Maokai ulti flies out, and Shun's under a lot of pressure. The damage flies into the Sejuani, and he dies as Hostile takeover finds Yagao. He's shuffled back into Waybo. Massive shutdown over the light. Waybo just found everything.
How the hell did they find them at all there? Weibo come back in. They play around the choke, and they're onto the Baron.
Baron started up, 5v3. Bin, Elk, and
Weiwei's
On
low.
have to try to pull off the defense. TheShy down to 10% HP. Weiwei's gonna be taken low too. Bin zoning the rest out as TheShy will finally fall. Callista with a ton of spears into the Baron as Elk is under pressure from Xiaohu. Bin is all out, but he's only one man. He goes back in and he finds a kill, but it's still Baron over to Waybo. It's still Bin about to go back over to Waybo. It's Waybo all day.
Waybo get the Baron, they get the kills. On, searching, not gonna have enough damage to knock them down. They're gonna TP in, they want to try to keep the
Way who was denied that opportunity alongside Eli to get to the World Champions for a while.
Shun wants to go in on TheShy. He lands Sejuani ulti with the Bellows breath, manages to get through it. They fire off their own counterattack on Waybo's side, and Bin's looking like a pincushion. He disengages but barely stays alive. Crisp now nearly killed. Shun also at death's door. BLG will hold on, but they are critically low. Waybo still looking for an opportunity to re-engage. Only Crisp is really threatened here. Xiaohu taking a lot of poke. Now has to eat the ace in the hole as well. Crisp could not tank that for him, as now a TP is coming in. Waybo still trying to get themselves out. Bin wants something. He sees Weiwei behind him, pushes him back. Wants to go for the all-out, but he won't knock him through the terrain. Bin still in hot pursuit, trying to find a knock-up, trying to find a knockback. Won't find a damn thing. BLG hold the line.
They hold the line with this. Weiwei not really in this position before. Shun hasn't been in this position before, and now it might come down to a
TheShy is
fight.
OTP.
They're rushing it. TheShy is bottom. There's no teleport available for the Ornn, and Maokai still has no ulti. Weiwei's the target. They gotta try to keep him away. The Cassante focusing the enemy jungler, going all out to take him all the way to the other side of the jungle. Bin will likely die for this, but they get the Baron on the side of BLG. Waybo get one kill back, but what else can they find?
Really gutsy call there from BLG. TheShy makes a critical mistake. He shows bot. They just commit to it instantly. TP forward. They started up because TheShy had no hold here by BLG, but they did use quite a bit to get that damage down. Nice chunk. That trap placement was perfect there from Elk, and Weiwei is so low.
All right, Waybo still facing down a difficult situation. Weiwei on low health, Crisp still at about half, some ulti still spent. Light does not have Callista ulti ready to use here in this fight. Weiwei's gonna get jumped on. Bin goes in, he's all out. He takes the enemy jungler away back over the wall, but he escapes into the sun disc. The Lux ulti comes over the top, and Bin is unstoppable. But what about the fight back in the Drake pit? The handshake onto Shun, who flashes away to stay alive. The dragon is secured. It's stolen away. Callista of Light manages to steal the soul as Yagao wants to turn around, but he can't do it. Light's gonna go up to R2. It's a double kill back over to the Callista as Xiaohu kills Bin. It is so many dead on BLG.
It's Light who secures it, but it's
G needs to make the miracle hold.
It's 15 seconds on Shun. It's Caitlyn Lux against everything. The minions are still coming. TheShy taking a little bit of damage here. They're going to be stunned up. No damage enough just yet. Finally, TheShy's going to drop on an Elk. Still holding on. A little bit more damage from the Luxy. Handshake back at Elk, but he ain't gonna die just yet. Shun comes in, but he will not find the ulti connection. They're still getting away. Xiaohu, the ace in the hole comes through, but Crisp does a good job blocking it. Shun still chasing. Light is down. Crisp and Xiaohu running away. TP's coming in. Yagao wants some. Accelerated shock blast doesn't hit, but Crisp is slow. Renata doesn't get away from these. Bailout's not gonna bail anything just yet. And Yagao with a counter punch.
BLG have the performance to get us into this position. Weibo and BLG
We gotta go back to
are having
live.
an insane game.
We gotta get back to live here. The chase obviously goes on a little bit longer. We know Yagao comes in and kills Crisp. The dance in the mid lane continues as as the coaches have to be on their edge of their seats for either side.
Go.
Horn summoned. Light Binding's not going to block anybody. Instead, they're just going to collapse it. On is dead. Hostile takeover locks down Shun. It's 2 kills back over to Waybo. BLG is on the run.
That's it.
And Waybo is on the victory march.
They're going to push here. They're going to go for it.
Weibo have the Nexus in their sights. The super team needed to come alive and
to hold him off here. Bin with a handshake back into the team. He's not going to live through this one. Xiaohu throws out their soldiers, and Yagao loses Guardian Angel. Bin trying to find a little bit of damage onto TheShy, but it ain't going to be enough as Elf tries to go forward with a 90 caliber net, but it doesn't matter. It won't do a damn thing. Waybo, through all the doubt, through all the disbelief, will earn their place in the finals.
the haters are silenced as Waybo find the victory.
These were some of the best highlights from the World's 2023 semifinals matchup between Waybo and BLG. Which moment was your favorite? Let me know in the comment section below. This is OP, and I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.